open, staying curious. The human body and the mysteries and so many unknowns that are still present in science, in what we know about the body, about the human organism, about body, mind, and soul. And just starting to open your eyes and be curious as to looking at the human and potential and possibility. And it still all comes down to science. And my frustration is the concept of reductionism in healthcare and very narrow-minded focuses. I'm part of whatever. I follow groups on Facebook and Instagram, and people love to come out with, here's this study that says this doesn't work, or this doesn't exist, or manual therapy doesn't change structure, or fascia is not real, and there's all this quibble, and it frustrates me to death because a handful of things, like who's doing the study, what's their skill set, who's the population. I mean, every single patient is an N of one. Everyone is so unique in their genetics, composition, what they eat, their environmental exposures, their lifetime of injuries, and all of that. So there's really no one size fits all. And to come out, research is not gospel. It is not like, you got to look at it and take it with a grain of salt. Yes, we need research to support what we do because there's lots of snake oil salesmen out there, right? And placebo and all of that. But at the end of the day, a lot of that research, we end up throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So for example, somebody posted this research article on foam roll doesn't do anything to mobilize tissues or change tissues. So this person who found this article is like, yes, you guys doing foam roll, better wait, or what are you doing before you explain it, or something. Like, it was very damning to foam rolling. I love foam roll. It's a very inexpensive tool. I use it personally. This tool and the sequence that I do on this tool that I teach my patients, it has keeping my body open. It has kept me out of back pain. It has kept me open, long, and strong. I teach it to my boy. He's a pitcher. He's getting strong and tight. I'm like, buddy, we need fascial, dural length, and foam roll mobility when you do it right in the right order is a game changer for keeping it open. So I don't know exactly, my thought is, yes, somehow we are mobilizing the fascial tissues, and that's where everyone out in research is like, what exactly is happening? And it would be nice to know, hey, what's exactly happening? But we may not exactly know. We might get close, but just because we don't exactly know exactly what's happening, does that mean it does not work, or it does not exist, or we should not use it? There's so much research that's been out there that's been redacted, or there's research that is not good. It all depends on who's paying for your research, who's behind your research, what's their skill set, what's their agenda. So take research with a grain of salt. But my ask is staying curious, because the body is brilliant. There's so much that we're learning about, like the brainstem and areas of the brain, and scientists quibble, which is important, right? Yes, we need to have discussion, we need to have dialogue, healthy discourse on what's going on. But at the end of the day, how are we doing? How are we doing treating patients? How are your patients doing? Are you seeing changes? Like, back to this foam roll, I'm like, you guys, I take pictures before and after. These pictures are different. So maybe I don't know exactly what's happening, but I know that changes are happening because my patients are getting better, both in their subjective report. They're getting better in my range of motion assessment, in their functional assessment, and in the pictures, right? Here's all of these objective, subjective findings or lookings to see, yes, we're making some changes. So with all of that, if what you're doing, if it's working for your patients, fantastic. I love it. Keep going. But if you're not seeing changes in your patients, and again, we have to look at both subjective and objective. It's not just subjective, because subjective, yes, is important, but again, that can be very hard, especially in the world of pain. But as we look at subjective, objective, if you're making changes with what your patients are doing, like, let's keep doing what we're doing. It's important to know what we're doing, why we're doing it, how things are changing, right? But let's not damn one thing or throw the baby out with the bathwater into the possibility of what could be. Because there are, maybe that 1% of patients that something does not work for, but where is the opportunity for innovation, curiosity, honoring that human body, being curious about fascia and tissues and cells and the innateness of the brilliance of the body. So stay curious, keep your mind open, but not so much that everything falls out. You've heard that before, but there just is so much potential and so much that we might never exactly know about the human body, but that doesn't mean that because we haven't quite explored it or understand it, that it does not exist and should not be continued to be pursued, explored, questioned, and worked into research.